Hi everybody, I'm going to make a video finally of our entire house and home setup for John and all of his trach medical equipment. This has been very requested by so many parents, and I hope it will help many people who are in the discharge process now and coming home soon and have no idea how to set up their house. So we have come to this by trial and error. We have moved already after setting it up once. That was not fun. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and start. This is his storage room here, and I'll preface this by, this was going to be his bedroom. So as you can see, this is where the crib would have been. Ignore, this is all just stuff I need to go through. Okay, our house is a mess. But this was going to be his bedroom, so this would have been like his nursery and his room. So that's why I am able to turn this into just a straight up storage room. A lot of people don't have access to just an entire room of this, so you do whatever you can. I am also a psychopath and stock up on supplies and make sure that I have extra months worth of supplies, because you just never know what the way the world is. So I do suggest that everyone should do that if you have the space. So let's go ahead and get started. Basically, I found a bunch of different shelves either on like Facebook Marketplace, Amazon, Wayfair, driving by people's houses, and just these are from our garage as well. So I just kind of, you can find cheap shelves, Amazon Prime Days and Black Friday deals. So I just have a bunch of different shelves. They're easy to put together. And then a lot of these containers I actually got on TikTok Shop, which is really funny, or Amazon. And I would just watch them and just wait for deals. These, you can get these at the dollar store, these little ones. I will say something that's really clutch is having the pull out drawers. It is so easy because you can stack so many things. I think these were Target and they were on sale. These right here are actually in my Amazon storefront. They're shoe boxes, so you can put shoes in them, essentially is what they're made for, and they're super cheap, and they open and close. You can't pull out, but they, that was bad. Anyway, they don't pull all the way out, so you just have to flap them open, but they still work. They're just not the best quality, but they do the job for sure. So we'll start from this side and make our way over. Let's see. So this, obviously, when he first came home, I would sleep on this bed. It's right outside of our living room. When we were still new with nurses, I would sleep here. It's just full. Amazon returns and just paperwork and medical. This is all his bills, and I just refuse to go through them. So this is another day issue. We have cameras almost all over our house. It's just a good thing to have so that everyone's held accountable. And it's really good in emergency situations to go look back and see what you could have done differently and learn from it. So I do suggest cameras. Ring cameras are a great option. You can get them on Prime Day. This was like, what, on Prime Day? Like $20 or something, super cheap. Like, they're so cheap on Prime Day. Alright, so this is just his dresser, basic baby stuff in the dresser, sleep sacks. These are his vent tube covers, so we have about 3 or 4 of them. These are the insulated ones. You want to definitely get the ones, I think, with fleece. They're on Etsy. So if you just look up CPAP covers or vent tubing covers on Etsy, there's one lady who makes them. She has like over 1,000 different print options on her website, and she's great. She'll work with you. I always get like the 72-inch ones. The 60 inches are too short. So you get the 72-inch ones, and it's going to be a little bit too long. And then what you do is you just like fold over the extra on the end by the heater, which I can show you how to do. Down here is syringes. So I keep all of our syringes in these little clear containers. So these are your 1 mLs and your 3 mLs. And then those are 5 and 10. And then these are syringes that we can use, and then I put lids in a container. So that's that down there. I utilize all the space that I can. This is a portable concentrator that another medical mom gave to me that her daughter no longer needed, which is such a blessing and so amazing. So this helps when we're in the car for a while. We use this. So that's great. And then this corner is where we like to keep our oxygen tanks. So I know if an oxygen tank is new and completely full if it has the cover on it. So I keep these on until I use it. So all of these are full over here. I think this one as well. There's an issue with this one, so just ignore that. But so that's that. So all the tanks will be here. Usually there'll be like 5 or 6, but I'm about to call and make a new order soon. And then here are some 60 ml syringes that mom gave me a huge box of them. So this is where I pulled them from. So this is John's medicine drawer basically. So I'm a control freak and I draw up his meds every single week. So the nurses just have it already drawn up. He's only on 2 meds now, which makes life a lot easier. Before, when he came home, he was on a bunch of meds. So I'm not as controlling about it, but I draw up his supplements, his daily supplements. So he has vitamin C, zinc, and multivitamin he gets every night. So I draw that up. And then he gets famotidine every night, and then esomeprazole. So what I do is I get these like reusable silicone bags. And then I label make them, and then I put a packing tape over it so that the label making doesn't get messed up if meds get on it. So like, for example, he gets Nexium, so that's esomeprazole every morning, and this is a powder and you have to mix it. So what I do is I do a 10 ml syringe with a flush, with the packet, and then a cup in here. So I do like 8 of each of them and put it in here so the nurse has everything ready to go. And so these all go here, and that's where they are. And then these are the daily, so when I need to refill, they're all just sitting here. And then he gets amikacin every 28 days, so I have that in there. What else? These are just like PRN meds are all in here. Just lots of different supplements and stuff. I'm a big supplement person. And then all of his nebulizer meds are going to be down here. So he's got 3% budesonide, albuterol. What else? I think that's really it. So that's all of his meds. So, a way that I used to do was these I got on Amazon, and they are, I think they're utensil tray holders for like the kitchen for when you're cooking. And so what I did them for, I saw another mom share this, is you'd put your syringes on here and you can label what the syringe is and the time, and so you can have them like preset out for your nurses or for yourself. And that way you know, like, if the syringe is missing, like it already was done and they got the meds. So that's a little tip and trick. Over here, down here is all my podcast stuff, but up here in this big old thing is just suction stuff, so canisters and tubing. These are cleaners that we stole from the hospital. We're actually running low, but this is what we use for trach care. Here are some heaters. Our DME actually does not supply us the ones that go with the water bags, so I've had a lot of moms who are great who don't use theirs, who have sent me some of theirs. So that's the ones we use. Our DME gives us the ones that you refill, which, let me tell you, are the worst things. If you can get your DME to give you the ones that go to the water bag, you're going to have a way less rain out in your child's tubing. The ones that you manually fill all the way to the top are awful. These are Trachs. Yes, I did steal those from the hospital, but we use them on his crib. What else? Feed bags go in here. And then these are just refill things of diaper cream and lotion, stuff like that. Any extra little cords and stuff that we've gotten for the heater and just things like that. It's organized, but it's not like super organized, certain parts. And here is backup nebulizer meds. So we try to use those first that are going to expire the soonest. And then these are just backup ones. And then I just do wipes and diapers. Honest, Kudos sponsor me. Kudos are a great brand. They're super clean diapers. John has super sensitive skin, and we found that he's like allergic to so many different diapers, like Huggies and Pampers and all that stuff. So anything that's like a cleaner diaper, we try to find them more expensive, but they are a game changer. And then we put his formula here. He's on the Kendamil formula, Kendamil goat formula. So let me start here. So I don't know if you want me to just go over everything, but basically a lot of the stuff here is stuff that we just use on a daily basis, or we might use and just want quick access to it. Like, he doesn't always use Farrell bags, but it's good to have access to them. They're just right here. Things that he uses all the time, I choose to put in a pull-out one. So for instance, let's see, like flex connectors, vent filters, so like all the things that I do every other week to switch out all of his circuits are kind of here. All of his vent tubing, we get 2 per month because he has 2 vents. What else? Let's go over the Aerogen. So the Aerogen is something that insurance does not cover because it's not FDA approved for home. It's FDA approved for the hospital, for not for home, which is so stupid. So because of that, it's not covered by insurance of the DME. So I do suggest, if you have any extra funds, to find one on eBay and purchase one. It will change your life. It will make nebulizers so much easier. The only issue is these cups here, the Aerogen Solo cups that you need for it to work, are like $150 each if you buy them online. So what we did was we kind of just stocked up on them when we were inpatient for so long. Well, we were inpatient for like 7 months. He came home for like 2 weeks, and then we had to go back for like 7 months. So we kind of knew everything we needed to stock up on, so we stocked up. Anyway, this is kind of what it looks like. So this piece right here, let's see if I can get it. This piece, the T piece, this you can boil or sterilize, and you can reuse this. This you cannot. And once these stop working, you're kind of screwed. So this, like, you don't need to get a bunch of these. You can reuse these. These is what you really need to stock up on. You can kind of try and clean them with saline, but never boil them, never submerge them, because once this part gets wet and the metal part gets wet, it will not work anymore. I ruined 2 by trying to sterilize them. Sad day of a mother day. Let's see. This is if we were to do nebulizers normal. I still get his neb treatments just to have, just in case our Aerogen breaks, you never know. Alright, so over here is just other items again that we get. Pretty self-explanatory, everything that's in here. You don't need to have as many containers as I do. The more I can see things, they'll get more control. I can give up to someone else. So I can say to my husband or Turners, can you go and grab this? And I don't really have to explain where it is because it's labeled and they can find it. And then up top is just back stock of items. Then down here I have his G-tube, his backup G-tube, the box for his other one. I have hand sanitizer, masks, these 3-gallon or 2-gallon Ziploc bags, which I don't know why, they're just great for so many things. Gauze and dental bibs, which I use those for my trach prep to set those up. And then cotton tips for trach care, gloves for the nurses, more hand sanitizer. And then I have hydrogen peroxide, which you get from the DME. And this is a really good trick that I've learned since coming home, is one of the big things that they tell you to do is to use mouthwash to clean your suction ballard and suction canister. And to me, I felt like that didn't do anything. It just like masked the smell, and it smelled even worse. So I started to use hydrogen peroxide. So I literally will just like open the top of this, put the suction tubing in, and like I'll let it run through the suction tubing, and I will use like half of this like every other day or something, or at least once a week, and clean that sucker out and let it soak with hydrogen peroxide, and the smell goes away. So this is a really good easy solution for that. And then I just have more hand sanitizer. I stole a bunch of these from the hospital because we don't have the bags, so these are just sterile water that you can poke in and the water can go. God forbid we need that. And then distilled water, which is what we use for his heater. What else? Pedialyte that I took from the hospital. Just random things that I just have that I just keep. Over here is like kind of a mess, if we're being completely honest. I haven't quite organized this. I just have night diapers and more wipes and just random shit. This is his go bag, which always stays over here, which I can go over that in another video. But what I like to do is I like to have a circuit. So this is an old trach that we no longer use. And if you get a nurse who's not as familiar, or a family member or someone, and you really want to train them on things, it's good to kind of have like a whole circuit to show them, right? So you can explain to them like, this is what, when you're suctioning, like this is what's happening, like it's going to the end. And you can explain, like a lot of people don't even realize what the trach looks like inside, and then you can practice like to make sure things fit properly. And it's just like a really easy way. If you have this, and you don't have to waste a new set every time, you just have one, and it's what you use every time to show examples of things. Like I have more old trachs and stuff like that, just to show different people and like what the cup does, just different things. And sometimes what I'll do is, like, if you're trying to test different things they fit, I'll write tester on them so you don't use them again, which I would never, but so no one does. And then we have bags all over the house, of course. So this is one bag, another bag. I have so many bags. And then this is more back stock up here of things. And then this is our trach care cart. So this is where we set up his trach care every single day. So we have baby towels down here, baby blankets, excuse me. And then here is what I was talking about, is how we prep his trach care. So we just wrap everything in a chuck, and then we wrap it again in a dental bib so that it stays as sterile as possible. And then all we do is just rip the tape off and open it up, and then everything that you need for your daily trach care is in there, and you're already ready to go. You just have to lay it out. So that makes life a lot easier. So they're all in here. So again, another thing that pulls out. And then in here is where I keep Nystatin, extra cleaners, extra cotton tips, extra stuff in there. And then I just put, like we brush his teeth, like his toothbrushes and his toothpaste in there. And then all of this like hygiene stuff down here. And then we use sterile water and a spray bottle and a glass spray bottle. And that's how we spray his cleaners and stuff, with the sterile water, which is just distilled water. So we just set that up and we roll it out and bring it to wherever we're doing his trach care. I have these sheets, which are from the DME, just explain each tank and how much oxygen they have in it, or how long they can last on what liters for each one. So that's just like a good reference if you're trying to know when to call to order more. If you're going to go like in the car for a while, you're like, all right, I need so-and-so E tanks and D tanks and stuff like that. This is where I try to do things, but we have not done a calendar in a while. So this would be great though if I could put this on here. It'd be wonderful. So this is here for when we want to do that. This is John when he was a week old, if you want to see it, what kind of little he was. This is my podcasting area here. It's really great. I have not done a podcast in a while, so I'm getting back to doing that. This is also where I sit and prep and fill his meds. And I clean, like I dry off on syringes and put his syringes together and put them away. It's kind of a catch-all area as well as that bed, unfortunately. And then we just put up all his stuff from his hospital room in here. Yeah, so that's basically this room in here. So here is another good hack, is you get a shoe bag for the door. Is that what these are called? Like a shoe bag? A shoe organizer. And so you just kind of label each one with things that you use all the time. And then you just put them in here. So like HMEs, like I always grab one on our way out. Cup syringes, cotton tips, oral suction, trach ties, tape, G-tube buttons, just things that you use all the time. Pulse oxes, suction ballards, usually feed bags go down in here. You need to refill that. But this is just a really good hack. And then I've seen other moms when they travel, what they do is they put everything that they're going to need for travel, and then they just roll this up and put it in a suitcase, and it makes life easy. So this is just a really good catch-all. A lot of these things have a bin there, but this is just a purse, like a really quick grab type of thing. Okay, so coming out of his room, this is our, I guess you could say, dining room and kitchen out here. So this is our oh shit tank, is what I like to call it. It's our big tank. What is this, the H tank? So we requested with our DME to get a regulator that goes to 15 liters. When we first got this, it only went to 4, which is only, 34% oxygen or something in the 30s, which is like, if you're in an emergency, you need 100% oxygen, which is 15 liters. So what we do is we always keep this on 15 liters, and we always keep it up, because it's faster in our mind to just go like that than to go, if you were to go 0 and leave it on, then you gotta, takes too long, right? So we always keep it on 15 and keep it off. And then we don't always, you can keep the bag attached, which usually we do, but you keep the bag attached so you always have your bag ready to go. So something they don't go over in the hospital a lot is having oxygen available in your house and in different spots with a regulator and a key on it. So when you practice things in the hospital, you practice with oxygen on the wall. It's just not realistic. And they do their best to train you in the hospital. It's just not realistic, right? When you're home, it's a whole different setting. So we always have, we have 3 different oxygen tanks available in this area at all times with a bag that are set to his settings, with it going to 15 liters with a key. So you always want to have your mask on there. If you have a trach child, you still want to keep the mask on there because that's your third option. God forbid you always try the same size trach, smaller size trach. That doesn't work. Then you're covering the hole and you're bagging through the mouth. So if you don't have this, and God forbid, then you're screwed. So you just keep it on, and when it comes time to it and you need to bag them, you just take the mask off, and then it's sitting there and it's close by. You always also want to make sure that your vent settings, like your settings on here, are accurate. So like John's like a PEEP of 8. So we put this on like a PEEP of 10, just because if he really is needing to be bagged, he will need some extra support. So you want to make sure that it's at the right PEEP. You want to make sure that this is either on or off, depending on what your physicians have told you. Ours is to be off because we don't want it to go over a certain threshold. And make sure before you go home that you actually bag your child. Don't just bag your hand or bag a doll. Bag your child. You need to understand what it feels like to actually get the resistance and to actually do it. The first time I actually bagged my son was when he was purple and blue. We were doing a coat on him at home the day after he came home. And once you get their color back, you forget that you have to keep bagging because you are their ventilator. And yeah, you just need to actually bag your child. I know it's weird, it's not fun, they're not going to like it, but for safety reasons, you need to ask to do it. It can be for 30 seconds, it can be really quick, but just doing it will make all the difference. So that's that, and then we always have ears on here as well. When you go over here, this is his changing table that we turned into storage. So this is a Valero, which is his IPV essentially machine. So this is here. We use it in the morning and at night. These are his diapers, so we use at night. And then I just have like more feed supplies, so spoons and stuff like that I keep over here. And then all of our large syringes I keep over here that are clean. And then bottles down there. So this is kind of like a random supply place. And then over here, I have another oxygen tank. So we keep this one here, and then it's the same thing. We have the bag on it, set to his correct settings, and then with the mask, 15 liters, and it's off. This one actually is 20, but it's off, but all you need to do is just turn it on, and now you're good to go. So you always want to have the key ready to go. So God forbid that tank emptied or wasn't working. I don't know. It's just good to have options around. So that goes there. And this is where our nurse at night sits. So our nurse sits over here. We have this area and a full clean for their feet, for their computer. We kind of give them blankets. I mean, we'll try to make it as comfortable as possible for them. And they sit here and they take care of John. This is his board of everything. So just got a whiteboard here, and I just use black, not wire tape, what's that
Electrical
called?
tape?
Electrical tape, correct. And just made these little things. Honestly, I could dim it down now because he's off so many meds. But this is just everything and when it needs to be changed. So like a 2 weeks, 1 week, like it just says how often they need to be changed, what they are, when they were last changed, and when the next change is due. So it just keeps everybody accountable here. And then these are his meds. This is his feeds. So just kind of what time he gets his feeds and what amount he gets. Same thing here for his night feeds. Normally we will have Jordan and I's phone numbers and names on here, as well as our address. I took that off obviously for this video, but it's very important to have your address very visible, as well as parents' phone numbers. Just different notes, but this is good. I mean, we just put his neb meds when they're due. Amikacin he gets every 28 days, so he started on the 25th, he ends on the 22nd. He only gets 3% budesonide really on the regular, and then these are his treatments. So you get CPT and the Valera, and the times of it is not the prettiest board, but we find that with nursing, sometimes in the computer system for them, like their orders are not all up to date, they're not correct, and everybody's on a different page. And so I've kind of told them all that the board is the Bible. You follow what we say and what the board says. Your computer's kind of irrelevant, to be completely honest, because things just get missing and misconstrued in their notes. What else? This is his bed. So we have a crib here, and we have this light that you can recharge, and we always have it here. God forbid in the middle of the night, the first thing you always want to do is check their color. Is a big thing. Pulse ox always aren't accurate. And then we have our oh shit button here, which you push it and it'll ring in our bedroom as well as our bathroom. I'm right here. Sorry. And then this is his baby cam, or his camera. So what we did was we got 2 cameras. Actually, someone gifted us these. So they're Motorola's, and there's 2 different ones. And I think you can literally do this with any camera system if you have 2 of them. So we put one here, and we put the pulse ox right here, and then we put the other one there. So I split screen it, and that way I can see him and see the pulse ox, and then I see that like in our room. So I always know, like, if the pulse ox is going off at night, it could just be because it's not picking up, or if he's only setting like 89, but I'm not going to panic if it's not 69, you know, like, so it's just nice to see those numbers as well as see him and how he's acting. What else? This needs to be dusted, but this is a fan. BPD kids are very sweaty, so we always have a fan, and then he always has all his stuffies and Thunderbug. Other area, so we have these from the hospital. It's just the trach information, and we just brought them home and put them here. We made a DSAT protocol after his 2 codes at home. We sat down and Monday morning quarterbacked both of the codes and kind of came up with a way to best approach if it was to happen again, God forbid. So we basically always say, you know, if he's desatting, suction him because it could be a plug or a goober. Suction, turn on the lights, switch oxygen to large tank and max it out at 15 liters. So what we would do is we would take the tubing off of the concentrator and then just put it directly on that big tank at 15 liters, usually to give him an extra push of oxygen, and see if you can solve it like that while you're trying to figure out exactly what the issue is. Put him on a flat surface in case he's not on a flat surface. Usually he is when he had his code at home the first time he was in his swing. So that's why we say that's very important to put a child on a flat surface right away. As soon as John is being bagged for any reason, 911 will be called. You would rather have them here and you tell them we're good when they get here than not call them soon enough. Where we live, it's taken like 12 minutes every time for EMS to get here, which is quite long. So you always want to make sure that your bag is connected to oxygen when you're using it. Because if your kid is coding or desatting, if it's not attached to oxygen, it's really not going to do you much good. Emergency trach change. When in doubt, change it out. When in doubt, change it out for the trach for any medical supplies. Continue bagging CPR until EMS arrives. So that's kind of our protocol. It's a little ghetto here. I just wrote it and typed it out, but it works. Over here is his medical sheet. This needs to be updated, but this is essentially like all the meds he's on, his history, blah blah blah, just everything. And this is what I bring with us. I have it in his go bag in case we need to go to the ER, we have to go to the hospital for whatever. It's just really easy to hand this over, so I just have this on the wall here, as well as our EMS sheet, which I've done a video on to explain this. I don't want to get the address in there, but basically we brought this to our 3 local fire stations and explained to them, you know, obviously they've had to come to our house before, but this was when he first came home. We lived elsewhere, so we updated them that we moved and then he was coming home again. And we gave them all of his medical history, what to do in a case of an emergency, how much epi he would need, not to try an IV, just to drill directly into him, that you could give epi through the trach if you needed to, if you couldn't get him back, like just worst case scenario type of things. That we went over this with his ICU doctors and came up with a plan of what to do. And so we met with the 3 local fire stations. They asked a lot of questions. We went over everything with them. They were great, and then they actually put it into the system, so when we call 911, our address is linked with John. So that's helpful. So when we have had to call since being home, we had a GJ issue and he needed to go in, they all came running. Even though I told them it was the GJ came out, they thought I said the trach came out. But, you know, they came. We have gloves here. These are all just like, you know, troubleshooting things for the vent. The dinghy gives you, you know, different alarms, why they might alarm. You know, at this point in my life with him, I know why everything alarms, but when we first came home, you're not as familiar with it, so it's good to have those there. If you have a nurse that's newer to trach stuff in the trilogy, it's good to have that in case they want to read it. What else? These are just random things. Saline bullets. This is like his little leave-in hair conditioner that we put it after a bath, and his hair balm. This is if we wanted to do manual CBT. His thermometer, take his temperature every morning. His combs, just random things over here. So that's that. So another really important thing is to always have your trachs very accessible. So what I did was I just grabbed shower hooks, and then I grabbed these big old bags off of Amazon, and I put very large what they are, and then in each side of them is another smaller bag. So that way when we go somewhere, is that a bug? Phew, there's a bug. When we go somewhere, I just grab these out and I put these in our go bag. So it's as simple as that. So you just throw them in, and in each bag, it's really simple what I keep. I just keep the trach, which I just put in a sterile bag, and like literally that's it. Just the trach on its own, ready to go. I don't put ties on it or anything. It's just as simple as possible. But it's all preference. People put ties on them, it doesn't matter. And then in here, he used to be cuffed, but he's not anymore. But I just have water and a syringe in case I needed to, God forbid. Ties, and then gauze and lube. I keep lube, and then I keep scissors in case I needed to cut his ties off very fast or something. You just never know. You never know. You always want to prepare for the worst. And so that just goes right back in there. So you always want to make sure you have them available, and very largely put what they are. This is his shaky vest that now insurance Medicaid does not want to cover because he's been good and hasn't been in the hospital for a couple of months, which is great. But they think that since he's doing good, he shouldn't have this vest anymore. Make it make sense. But anyway, I'm not giving it back. They'll take it from their dad yet. So that's his CBT machine. Really quick. So this is a base bag. Shout out to Audrey who found this bag online and discovered that it's the perfect thing that fits everything. I have a skirt on, so excuse me, crunch. Alright, so everything that I keep in here, this is not super organized right now. John's decided to be a puker when he's in the car, so puke bags. And then again, a bag. You always want to keep a bag with you. Something a mom posted on a trach page, which is great, is this little nasal sucker thing. This right here. I found on Amazon for like 20 bucks. It's like rechargeable. You can use this, God forbid your suction machine stops working. You can connect it directly to your inline tubing, or you even do outline suction, and it's strong enough and it will work to pull out secretions. So I've always thought about that and said to my husband, like, what happens if our work out and our suction machine stops working, because it's the worst suction machine ever. And so finally I found that solution. So I keep that with us. And then in here is so in here is his bag. It says John. I was going to put John's trachs, but it was too expensive, so we just went with John. But anyway, so this is his G-tube. We bring a G-tube with us everywhere, so I have a G-tube already ready to go in the casing there. And then what I do when we leave is I grab the 2 trachs and I put the trachs in there, and then I zip it up and we're good to go. So that goes in there. And so then this is kind of so this is like a travel bag, and everything is labeled. It's kind of rubbed off some of it, but everything is labeled. So I put everything you could think of in here. So I have HME, split gauze, scissors, tape, oxygen key, oxygen regulator, suction filter, neo sucker, trach ties, hemostat, saline, suction tubing, G-tube, his med sheet, his pulse oxes, suction ballard, suction cath, oxygen tubing, oxygen input insert, oxygen emergency adapter, alcohol wipe syringes, trachea, cotton tips, neo grips, and lube. So I somehow managed to get all of that to fit in here. It took a lot of rearranging, but I like to be prepared for everything. And so all of that is in here, and I just lock it up and put it in here. It does take up quite a bit of room, but it does work. and then you can fit your suction machine in there as well. It doesn't zip that great, but it does all fit. I like to have his suction machine like out next to him. So in the car, usually it's like right on the floor next to him, and then in his wagon, like I always just have it sitting in the seat next to him. So I don't even really put it in here as much, but that is something that I do. And then I also keep like my wallet and everything else in here. And here's like another oxygen tank thing from the DME that kind of tells you like how long everything will last. I got a bib because he's messy, 8 extra HMEs, extra tape for his toe, his hospital band. I don't know why I have that in there. It also turns into a backpack, this bag, which is great. And then I have saline bullets in here. And then usually I have alcohol wipes in there. So, and then if you wanted to, you could make this his diaper bag, like your diaper bag as well. It does have lots of room. It's like super easy to maneuver. So that's that there. And then I also use a lot of fans on John. So I definitely recommend getting these heavy duty fans that last like for like 12 hours. So we have a couple of these. These are empty oxygen tanks. So anytime an oxygen tank is empty, we just put it by the door. So if a tank doesn't have a regulator on it and it's by the door, it's empty. And then I also have these at my house. I have a door that literally say, if you have been sick around anyone sick or have the sniffles, please do not come in. Thank you. And then it also says, welcome, please remove shoes, wash your hands for 30 seconds, wipe down your phone, leave bags at the door, ask before touching, and no kissing. Love, John. So I have those at the door. And then here's another reminder in case they didn't get the picture the first time. So, our UPS and Amazon guys think we're crazy, but they don't know what's inside. All right, so this is his oxygen concentrator here. So John's usually on like half a liter or a liter. Let's see, on like half a liter right now. So your DME should give you a concentrator. Some of them are different. You can like refill your tanks yourself. We don't have that one. So we have this one. It's really loud. It's really annoying. Something that they tell us a couple months after we were home is you cannot put this against the wall. Like it can't be directly against the wall. It puts out so much heat, and it needs it to be open and aerated. So you really need to make sure that it's out and open. It will make your house a little bit warmer as well. So you might have to crank your air more, but also having a humidity thing going in the vent all the time, you know, we're sweaty people too. So, but this is that. You just put your tubing right here, and that's it. Like I said before, if he was really desatting or something, I would just bring this tube that's connected to his vent and put it on the big tank right there on 15 liters if he needed. This only goes to 5 liters, and what they really kind of don't tell you is the concentrator is not as potent as a tank. So like what 5 liters on this is like really like 4 liters on a tank. No, not even. It's not as strong. So if you come home and your kid is needing more oxygen on the concentrator at first, like don't worry, it's just an adjustment period usually. But if they're not able to sustain on the 5 liters on here is when you really need to go in. This is our messy living room, High School Musical on the TV. And these are just toy shelves that I have under here. We try to Sean's just a normal baby, so we have all the different normal toys. Right now he's on his travel vent because he's eating. He's shirtless and he's eating, but he's on his travel vent because we were at the park, and so we just left him on so he could have some more room to crawl. And we just connected the concentrator directly. I've gone over this before in another video, but I guess I'll go over it here. So this is his vent stand. It's not really that pretty right now, but this has everything in one-stop shop. So I kind of jerry-rigged it all. I don't know why there's a ones down there. But, so this is his heater here. So we got this from the DME. It came with the vent, the stand, and the heater, and that's it. So I put the suction machine on the back. So, I put this on here. I just use shower hooks, and then the, what are these used that you use? Tourniquets from the hospital. So before it was zip ties, but then it was tourniquets. It's a long story. Anyway, this actually needs to be tightened. So that's it. So the suction machine's there. I connected it to a Bluetooth on and off switch. So you just press on and off. It's just plugged in right here to that Bluetooth, and that way your suction is just super easy. You can always just have it ready to go. You just go like this and you're ready to go. And we always have the tubing like kind of like rolled up right here on this little hook, ready to go. John likes to play with it, so that's been fun. And then I put his, we don't really use this except for at night. This is his feeding pump. So we didn't get blessed with the cool infinity one. We got the stupid kangaroo one, so that's that. And then if I had a bag, I'd hang the bag here. And then this is his water bag here that we hang up here. And this goes directly into the heater. A tip is you always want to make sure this is open on your valve, or else your water will not come out. And then I just Velcro this. I put a Velcro here, then Velcro here, so that when we leave, I can just pick this up and go. And we always bring the plug with us. Always bring your plug for your pulse ox with you wherever you go, because it does not, the battery does not last long. And then we always have a Trach key hanging here. Wonderful. And a regulator key, oxygen key. And then in here we keep puke bags, because like I said, he just likes to gag and puke randomly. And then we keep saline bullets and tape, and then sometimes some extra pulse oxes. And then this is his Aerogen is right here, so we just rolled that up. It's a USB, so we plug it in there, and then it goes directly into whichever one we're using. So he has 2 different cups because the amikacin can't be mixed with anything else. What else? This is a power surge protectant. What are these called? What? Power strip? It's power strip. And I just zip tied that onto the vent there. And then we're able to just move everything. Oopsies. Like I said, this is the vent tubing covers. And so I said earlier how this was going to be long over here. So what you do is, can you come over here? So what you do is, this isn't even on right, is usually it'll be longer, and then you can just fold it back like this. And you just fold it like that. Whoever put this on didn't put it on this tight. Probably me. But yeah, and then this is where his IPV goes, his Valera goes in there, so that's what that is for. What else? Then we have another call button right here. So you push that, it'll go off. And go to our room. We have one here and then one in the bathroom. And I believe we have one in our guest room as well. So that's how loud that is right there. And then we always sleep with our door just open. And we're right there. Again, here's another oxygen tank. This one's on wheels. Again, has another bag on it. Has a key ready to go, and it goes to 15 liters. The DME will not provide you with regulators that go to 15 liters. At least ours, they don't. And if they do, they'll only give you like 1 or 2 regulators total. And so we like to have many. So we went on Amazon, which I don't know if we're supposed to do it, and we bought a bunch of regulators. They're fairly inexpensive. Buy regulators that go to 15 liters. You don't need anything higher than 15 liters, because there really isn't anything higher than 15 liters. But yeah, just buy extra regulators. So this is our bathroom. It's very small, as you can see. So what we do is we just fill a tub, and then we bring the tub out to him. Eventually, when he gets off the vent, it'll be easier to just bring him in here, because he's kind of outgrowing the tub, to be completely honest. But that's kind of what we do, because as you can see, I mean, this is zoom, go to one time, not the, as you can see, this is a very narrow doorway, and then you got to go out here, so it just doesn't work with bringing the whole vent in. What else? I have more in there. Pep stock. I mean, here's his books, and some toys, and this is all stuff I need to store, and like all his like NICU, PICU stuff. First, snack basket. We like to keep our nurses very happy. They are very much part of our family, so we like to just always just keep snacks for them. What else? that's really it. I know this was a lot of information. I probably missed a couple of things. I can make a video about how we like travel more with our car setup and our wagon setup as well. But I hope that this helps. The biggest thing is to just make sure you're 100% confident before you bring your child home. If you're not 110% confident, ask for more training, practice more things, put your kid in a stroller, walk around the hospital, practice putting them in your car before it's the actual day to go home. Ask for those things. They should not say no to you. The more training, the better you are to be prepared at home, the less likely you are to come home back with your kid. Anything else, Jordan?
No, that was good.
I hope that this was helpful. But yeah, this is just our home. Everybody does it differently, so it doesn't have to be done exactly like this. So if you're already home and you're watching this and you do it completely different than us, it's totally fine. There is no right way of how to take care of your trach child. Everyone kind of has a different preference from things that they learn in their hospital. Every hospital is different. So that is it. But thank you for coming along on our house tour. It's just kind of messy. Today we actually have it clean, so-ish. But thank you. Thank you to my cameraman.